How often do you force yourself to be consistent? How often do you force yourself to be consistent? Right? I'm not talking about the person who is consistent easily. Like every day, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're doing what you said you were going to do. I'm talking about the people who get tired. I'm talking about the people who get frustrated. I'm talking about the people who get overwhelmed. I'm talking about the people who get so disappointed that they don't want to do nothing. Because I get there sometimes. And so, although I love to motivate, I love to equip, I love to teach, like there are some days I don't want to create content. There are some days I don't want to do a video. I'm a teacher, I'm a professor. There are some days I don't want to grade papers. Like, can I be real with y'all? And so the truth is, people who are successful, they are successful really because they force themselves to be consistent. They stick to their goals even when they're not feeling their best. If they said they were going to get up and work out, they do it. If they say they were going to make 10 calls, they do it. If they say they were going to send 10 emails, they do it. Even when they don't feel like it. And what throws a lot of people off is their performance depends on how they feel. They get up if they feel like it. Like it sucks to fall down. It sucks to give your all and not get the results you want. But in order to get to where you desire to be, you've got to be willing to fall down and get up every time. You've got to be willing to do it over and over and over again. You've got to be willing to go away for a little bit and get your energy up, get your mind right, build your skill set. Like, you can't just say, I failed and that's it. You've got to be willing to take whatever you consider. You might consider that a loss, but you got to be willing to take that result that you got, that result that you despise, and you got to be willing to do something with it. you got to be willing to do something with it. You can't just sit there and say, this is it. This is not it. Sometimes you're rejected because God is preparing you for something bigger. He's preparing you for something greater. You're being equipped. You're building your stamina. You're building your knowledge base. You're building your skill set, your expertise. And so you're not supposed to stay there. But maybe you're supposed to slow down and get clear. Maybe you're supposed to release some things, release some people, release some behaviors, release some habits, release some thoughts that you've been thinking. Maybe it's time for you to step into a new level of growth, a new level of commitment for yourself, a new level of commitment to your goals. Maybe it's time out for you getting offended so easily. Oh gosh, who am I talking to? Because sometimes it's your offense that stops you from moving forward. And I've gotten to the place where I'm aware of when I'm offended. And what I used to do is I would be aware that I was offended, but I would immediately justify it. Like, yeah, they did this to me. Like, yeah, I deserve to be upset right now. Like, yeah, that was where I was. And so now I try to figure out, why was I so offended? And what can I do to mitigate this? Because I don't want to allow this to throw my entire day off. I don't want to allow this offense to steal my peace, to rob me of my joy, to rob me of the happiness that I fought so hard to get to. And so you got to get to a place where you guard your peace, you guard your happiness, right? You protect your time. And you're not allowing people to get you off course. You're not being distracted by what is going on around you. There's so much noise going around right now. There's so much negativity going around right now. And you've got to protect your mindset. You've got to protect the goal that you set for yourself. And you engaging in meaningless battles, that's not going to get you to where you're trying to go. And so it is going to be up to you to make the commitment to stand firm on what you said you were going to do. You might not feel like it. But you got to be intentional. You've got to be intentional about forcing yourself to remain committed, forcing yourself to remain consistent, doing it day after day after day after day, even when you're not seeing what you want to see. Because if you do it long enough, you're going to eventually get a yes. You're going to eventually get the results you desire. And so a lot of people, they miss the mark because they give up too soon. And sometimes when you feel that strongest urge to quit, when you're like more frustrated than you've ever been, that is the time for you to really go hard. That's the time, because what happens is you start to have a pity party and then your productivity plummets. It goes down because of how you feel, because of the energy that you are bringing. And so the only thing that is standing between you and your goals is commitment, determination, and belief. Like, you gotta be committed. You gotta be committed to finishing what you started. You gotta be determined to get what it is that you desire. Even if you're not seeing what you wanna see right now, you cannot allow that to send you into a place where you are no longer going after your goals. And then you gotta be confident. You got to believe. You've got to believe that you have what it takes, even if you're not seeing what you want. And sometimes people get hung up on what they see in front of them, but they're not realizing that sometimes your breakthrough and your blessing is far ahead of what you can even see with your eyes. And you've just got to be willing to trust that if you keep showing up, you're going to get your yes. If you keep showing up, you're going to get the job. If you keep showing up, you're going to get the contract. If you keep showing up, you're going to get that thing that you've been praying for, that thing that you desire. You just got to stay committed.